And we are live. Hello, and thanks for tuning in. This is the SuperBoss Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Harrison Ngo, and I'm joined by Ian Eatwell
Hey.
and Luc Tran.
Hello.
We talk about what's going on in the nerd world, ranging from movies, comics, to video games. And if you're a new listener, we start by talking about what we've been up to lately or any cool news we've heard before jumping into our main topic, which we've kind of touched on before. It was more about anime, but we're actually going to dedicate time to doing recommendations, because I got some people asking about that, but enough about that for now. And what's up with you guys, huh? Let's start with Luke this time. I did the Ian last time.
What's up?
What up? Whoa, for a second you sounded like Ian. I don't know why. Anyway.
What?
I mean, he tends to do that a lot.
Yes.
I think the biggest news, at least for me lately, is in Monster Hunter. I finally beat the newest monster they added.
Oh,
and
really?
It was such a struggle bus, and I finally beat it, and I'm still riding that high. It's like that Dark Souls high, where you beat that boss you've been stonewalled on, and I beat it, except unlike Dark Souls, in Monster Hunter, you just keep farming that boss over and over, and I really don't want to farm that boss over and over. So I'm super excited. It's all right, I beat it. I have enough to make the weapon. I made it one weapon, and I'm just do I have to, I really don't want to keep farming it. So I've been doing all this other stuff I've been meaning to do in Monster Hunter for a while, but it's just I beat it and it's still looming over me and I hate it.
Just making sure.
What'd you end up using? What was
Insect
your
Glaive.
build?
So my main build was Insect Glaive. I had 3-piece Safi and 2-piece Fatalis.
Okay. So you ended up crafting some of his armor after the.
I ended up making some armor.
Hell yeah.
I guess the important parts were there's a cheese strat you can kind of do with Fatalis in the beginning, where you use your Ghillie Mantle and you use the 2 cannons at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so my starting set, my starting set, I Ghillie suit in, and I have Part Breaker 3 and Heavy Artillery for the cannons.
Mm.
I use all 10 shots in the cannon. I tenderize his head, and then I Farcaster immediately back out and go into my main DPS build, which is Part Breaker 3, Health Boost 3, Agitator 7, Divine Blessing 5, and then other miscellaneous damage skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. This is going to be gibberish to people who don't know Monster Hunter,
Yeah.
but I'm just
That's
So
including me too, because I was yes. I'm happy
That's
for you.
No,
100%.
it's all gibberish, but you know what? That's okay.
That's okay. You had fun. Is this technically the last boss?
It is probably the hardest monster they're ever gonna add. For whatever reason, they have another monster being dropped, I think next week.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a hard version of a already existing monster.
Mm.
And the whole thing about Fatalis, who's the monster I'm talking about, and is the hardest monster in the game, is his entire his armor and his weapon are just so high above literally everything else in the game that it doesn't really matter. Because the new one they're adding is going to be Arc Tempered Velkhana, who I really like. I really like Velkhana as a fight. I think Arc Tempered will be fun, but there's probably going to be zero reason to ever use any of the weapons or armor it gives, because Fatalis gear is just so astronomically above the rest.
So broke.
Is that I guess, is that cool to have? Because if he's the last boss, would it just help you get other stuff if that's what you're trying to do? If you're trying to farm other monsters, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of the last hurrah, because they've said there's going to be no major updates. So
okay.
I think it's completely fair to be this is the last new monster we're adding. If you can beat him and you can kill him enough, you get the most broken gear in the game, and that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that makes sense.
Because honestly, any other monster kind of is a cakewalk compared to Fatalis.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So, because even I'm gonna finish hunting Fatalis, but there's still other stuff I want to do in the game. So it'll just make the game a lot smoother, and I can just chill out more.
Hell yeah! Are you gonna get the new game?
Oh, Rise?
Yeah.
I actually don't know if I want to get Rise. So it comes out on, I think, March 16th, 26th or something for Nintendo Switch. It's just Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people do like Monster Hunter kind of has its roots sort of in like the handheld genre, which Switch kind of is. In like, you're gonna have like noticeable degrades in visuals, which I don't really care about the visuals, but especially because I really liked Monster Hunter 4 and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and their kind of like shtick was that you had different hunter arts, whereas in World you kind of had like your clutch claw, and it seems like in Monster Hunter Rise they have like a better version of the clutch claw. They have this like weird grapple hook thingy. And I hated the clutch claw, and I still kind of hate it. So I don't know if like I like Monster Hunter World, and I'd rather just play Monster Hunter World than like a different kind of offshoot of Rise. It's something I would consider. Like maybe like if it goes on sale, I'd probably buy it.
Okay.
It's weird just because like I really like World. And I'd want them to expand upon World, but also introduce kind of what they do in every generation. More unique mechanics and interactions than just like, oh, we're having an offshoot almost of World, where you have this grapple hook that can grapple anywhere, but it's like, compared to Hunter Arts, and I think a lot of Monster Hunter fans would agree, Hunter Arts were really cool and interesting, and I really want something like those back instead of like a unique tool or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious. Have you been playing anything else though besides? Because I know that for last week I've seen you guys on that.
Yeah, it's literally only that. I mean, I'm replaying Spider-Man PS4. Not really in relation to anything. It's mainly because my girlfriend's doing Inktober, and so she's usually in the living room, and so PS4's in the living room. I'll hang out with her and play Spider-Man PS4.
Hell yeah.
I told Ian about this. I played Deep Rock Galactic last weekend for the first time.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty fun. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Heck yeah.
The only thing, well, not the only thing. I guess one of my main complaints is the classes feel kind of arbitrary, I guess. Like, I wish the classes, it's like, I'm always that person within our group who like kind of rails on like, oh, I really like when they're hard classes and each class does something specific, and so you can't really like jack of all trades anything. But it feels like mainly maybe because there's only 4 dwarves in Deep Rock Galactic, the gameplay feels kind of whatever.
So wait, what's the goal of that game again?
I mean, the way the game works is that you have 3 missions, like 3 mission types you can choose from, either between gathering a specific resource, repairing, basically doing like a repair and King of the Hill game mode, or one other one. I didn't play all the game modes. But the way it works is like you're 4 dwarves in space, and you get sent to this planet to do your objective. Like, oh, we've landed in like the jungle biome of the planet or the ice biome of the planet. We just need to collect 80 of this mineral. So you just dig around and look for minerals. And occasionally enemies and swarms of enemies appear, and you need to hold them off.
Okay.
It's along the same lines of a Left 4 Dead type game.
Yeah, like Dwarves for Dead.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that, so you have your dig dwarf, who's in a giant mech, who his shtick is to dig, so his mech just lets him dig really fast. You have the scout, who has an unlimited grappling hook and has a flare gun. You have your engineer, who can set up platforms around the map and sets down a turret. And then you have your gunner, who has the zipline and the minigun. And I kind of get what they're going for. Like each class brings a lot to the table, but if you don't have 4, it just feels lesser.
Okay.
I guess because I was only playing with one other friend. So it was still fun, but I can definitely see where the game kind of needs you to have 4 to have the most fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate.
But I think it was still really fun to play, and like we're going to be playing again at some point.
Nice.
So
yeah.
Deep Rock Galactic was fun.
Definitely made me interested in it. Sure.
Buy the game.
In addition to Hades,
consume
you buy this game
product.
No. Consume
money.
The voices.
Same.
What about you? What's up? What have you been up to?
Magic and Monster Hunter, man. Magic and Monster Hunter. I've been also trying to. I'm a little bit behind Luke and one of our other friends who are mostly the Monster Hunter people. So I still haven't soloed Elytron, which I still want to do. So I'm working on that and Fatalis right now, and I think I'm working on like getting some other resources and stuff that I want to do in Monster Hunter before I like seriously tackle them. But Magic is so fun, and I've been playing way too much of it. I think I oopsied into a really great deck again.
God, you're a monster again.
So I hope I get to play this deck like up to Mythic. So I was showing my wonderful girlfriend the how to like play Magic and stuff because she was interested in like card game type stuff.
Card games.
So I was just showing her a little bit of it, and I was like, all right, we're going to build a deck. Let's build a green deck, because I love big green dudes, right?
What was that?
So
Wait,
I built
a
mono green.
You're like, what?
Huh?
Okay.
Big green dudes? Yep.
He's a Hulk kind of guy.
The green giant on the can of those peas.
Gosh.
Yeah. Green giant, that kind of thing. Anyways, so yeah, I built a mono green deck, and there's a specific card. Well, the whole like shtick of my deck is that like the creatures are just huge, but 2 are a lot of value, and 3 are very hard to deal with. For instance, like one of the creatures I have is like anytime he takes combat damage, he doesn't die. He's indestructible, and then he gets stronger after being dealt damage. So stuff like that. But there's one specific card called here. Let me look up the specific. Yes, it's it's Kogla or Kugla. I like Kugla, but I think it's Kogla the Titan Ape. It's insane. It's an insane card. So it's really expensive. It's 6 mana total, but you have to specifically have 3 green mana on top of that. But so he's basically King Kong in Magic, because one of his abilities is you can pay mana to return a target human card you control to your hand, and then he gets indestructible. So, he's like protecting the woman, like King Kong protecting the lady on the skyscraper kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And it makes a lot of sense once you see the card art too. The card art is great. But yeah, and he's a 7/6 monster, so he's super like tough. And then whenever he attacks, he destroys enchantments or artifacts. And then also, once he like gets played on the field, he immediately fights another creature, which is usually destroys them. So it's just a hell of a lot of value. It's great. It's amazing, and I love this card. And I built an entire deck around it.
So has she played the game? Has she actually played?
Huh? No, I just streamed
okay.
to her a bit over Discord. Yeah. Okay. Just did some of that. But yeah, it's God, it's so fun. It's such a fun deck because I use a lot of like early ramp cards, so I like get out a ton of mana so that I can play these like super strong cards really early. And I'm super close to getting
Holy
diamond.
shit.
And then I want to see if I can get to mythic. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like platinum. If I was comparing it to League in terms of the ranked systems, I think platinum is kind of like gold or silver in League in terms of like the skill level player base, because it's really easy. It's actually pretty easy to get to plat. It's really easy to get to gold, and then plat's a little easier. But getting out of plat's hard because you stop getting like two. There's like, the way it works is like, I think it's like 5 or 6. We'll say like, we'll call them tokens, I guess. 5 or 6 tokens, and once you collect that many, you get to the next rank, right? You from like the bronze till I think gold, you get 2 per win. But in plat you get 1. So that's when you kind of have to like, oh, I actually have to like win more than I lose now, kind of thing. So yeah, that getting out of plat will be like, I'll feel good. I'll be like, yeah, I did it.
It's kind of the challenge.
Yeah. And then I've been playing draft whenever I can, and that's really fun too. But I think that's about it. I think that's all I've been doing. What about you, Harrison? How has you been doing, girl?
Ian, not like this. Not here.
What?
Sorry.
Don't do this.
I'm actually okay. What have I been doing? Shit ton of Genshin Impact. I will say that. I've been putting way too much time, more than I thought in this game. I know last week I played like maybe 6 hours or so. I've put way more into it just because I have more friends that started playing it more, and we just like talk. Like, let me see, what level am I? I am now level 20, I guess. Yeah, it counts level 20. And I've gotten like a lot more characters, so my team is actually a lot better. I have because.
So is there a character level and
then an so
account
it's like
level?
your adventure rank is like just you, and then each character you have to like level up. It's like the typical gacha style where you just pull and you just have to like level up, get used materials to like just boost them to a certain point. But then like not only that, I have like weapons that you get weapon drops too, that you can like use on certain people. Like, some people use 2-handed like swords, some people use like polar or bows. It's varied depending on like the character. But yeah, mostly it's just been doing that just because I'm just trying to get through the story. It's funny because one of our friends that we haven't talked to in a while, he's in Canada, which makes it funnier because then he he randomly talked to our Discord, and I was like, I didn't realize he started playing it too. So we later that day, I just got on because I was like gonna go at him, and then we ended up playing, and I didn't know that you could do co-op in this game, or maybe I did, and I just never thought about it. But he requested an invite, and we just like played together, going in. I think it was my world or his. I don't even know, but no, we just went around. We fought some bosses, like world bosses. We couldn't do dungeons because we were too low, or I was too low, I guess. So want to play in order to play with others, I guess I gotta level up some more. But just putting a lot of time in that. I have not put money into this game yet, but I've gotten very close occasionally, and I'm like, no.
Like just to get a character roll, or like what are you trying to do?
So and not even just so yes, character roll, but the issue with rolling is that you can get weapons as well. So more like let's say you can roll 10 times. Like sometimes they'll pretty much 9 out of 10 times you'll probably get a weapon. But that's the whole. But that's just been my experience. I've heard some other people get, and I've seen other people get more rolls than that on characters. But overall, I keep forgetting that this is a free game. But like the production on it is it's like I think I saw someone say like it's pretty much a triple A like gotcha game, and it's actually kind of refreshing because it feels like it's a lot of effort put into the game. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. It sounds really cool. I don't think I've ever seen
Not something that
the
ambitious in
elements.
like a free to play game like that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I've seen
'Cause-
those elements combined either, where it's like a
no,
open world RPG plus gotcha. It's interesting.
no, because most of the time because I've played a good amount of gotcha games, and this is like probably the most fun I've had because it's like, oh, this feels like I'm just playing like a normal game versus just something I could play on my phone, right?
Mm.
Because I used to play like, what was it? There's the Final Fantasy one. There was like the Brave Exvius, no, Brave Frontier. There's like all these games in college, like all the guys would play,
Mm-hmm.
and it would just put so much time and just sit there in class and play. It was stupid. But or even the Puzzles and Dragons too. God damn it, there's too much shit. But so playing this, I was like, this is nice because it's actually like good quality in my opinion.
Mm.
So just been playing that. But got back into Apex.
Yeah, I've
This
seen you
past
guys
couple-
playing
yeah.
Apex lately.
That's right. I forgot
it-
we were
yeah.
playing that.
Is it a new update or is it because it's
Uh,
not on Steam yet, right?
No, it's not on Steam. There's
Mhm.
just I didn't even play because of a new. I think I just saw there was a new season, but I didn't even play because of that. I just felt like playing it just because I haven't. I just felt like an itch to play like a first person, but I didn't want to play Destiny because there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do right now in that game, so I'll just wait until the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
But just play like I know it was like a random thing too. I think it was like you, Ian, and one of our other friends. Like I just got on and we were just like talking randomly. And it's like, oh, they were talking. He was like saying, oh, we should play this other game because he didn't feel like playing Fortnite. He's like, I'd rather play that than Fortnite. I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's play Apex.
Mm.
And then he even dropped the idea of playing Overwatch. I'm like, hold on, chill. But yeah, no, I've been playing Apex a lot more. Like it's been me, Ian, and our other friend. And hilariously, we played yesterday, and I think it was like our first or second game, but we got a win off the bat, like a
Yeah.
legitimate win.
Yeah,
And
it
we're
was,
like,
it
wait,
was
what?
crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just like, luckily it was like the older map, so we knew what was going on. But it was just weird because we're like, wait, I've never gotten a legitimate win. It was always like, I think I got one win, but it was like by accident,
Mm.
as in like the guy was outside the whatever, the storm or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and they just died. Like I think it was yeah.
No,
And
that's
it
a
was
win.
like
That's a win.
that. Yeah, at the time I was like, that's a win. But then playing yesterday, I'm like, oh no, this is a legit win.
This is a real win. Yeah.
yeah.
It was cool.
But-
Yeah, I think we pulled out like 2 wins, and I've never won ever in those
Yeah.
games. Like I played Fortnite and
Yeah.
Apex, not for very long for either of them, but so
I-
that was cool.
And
I
I mean,
have a lot of new stuff too.
yeah, it's a lot of new. Like I mean, a lot of things because we've played last time we played it. I think most of us we played like season 1, and we just dropped off just because we
Mhm.
played other shit.
Yeah.
But it's changed a lot. Like there's so much more to it. But I think and I joked with our friend. I was like, I don't know if it because yesterday. Okay, yeah, this past week I think crossplay beta dropped, and I think that's why there's like such a huge. Maybe that's a huge influx of players coming back. Maybe I don't
Maybe.
know.
Yeah. People can
But-
like play with their friends that have different
Yeah.
systems and stuff.
Yeah. But
Listen, we're not gonna say that being
that's
in the
reason-
crossplay beta
is the
helped
reason
us
why.
because we have keyboard mouse advantage. We're not gonna say that.
We're not gonna say that. I'm just saying.
But
I
that's
was
out
just
there.
Well,
informing that
I'm
there
pretty
is
sure
cross.
doesn't Apex also do input-based matchmaking anyway?
It didn't feel like. I don't think it did. Maybe it does because we didn't have the option to. But that's
I don't
it's also
know.
in beta, so I don't know if we can adjust that or not.
I have no
Maybe before, yeah, or I have no idea honestly. But that's not the point here. The point is we won twice and it felt great.
idea. It
But,
did.
Man, I think honestly playing it more, I was like, man, this feels good. I love the sliding in the game, the
Mhm.
guns. Because I tried Warzone, as I said last week, but playing Apex more, I'm like, I had more fun with this game as
Mm.
compared to like Call of Duty. Because I think Call of Duty, there's so much going on, like so many different guns, because it's just had a bigger, I guess, like arsenal with it. But like with Apex, it feels like I know there's like only a few guns. Like there's like four shotguns, 4 I don't know, auto rifles and all. It's easier to keep up with,
Yeah,
And I think like when you look at it, you're like, oh, I can tell this gun right away. But that also might just be because we played it a lot more before compared to like Call of Duty. But yeah, no, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Just want to play Apex some more. Cough, cough. Ian, cough. Luke, get back on when it's on Steam. Cough, cough. Because I think that's when you said you probably
is it coming to Steam?
Yeah, it's coming to Steam.
They've mentioned at some point they'll do a release on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate using the launcher they have now.
So that's the thing, though. I here's what I think is if you get it on Steam, I think you still have to go into the launcher, but it's probably like a, I guess maybe like a minimized short. I don't know how to describe it. It might be like I can't think of words. Words are hard. It won't be the full launcher. It might just be like a pseudo launcher.
Tiny launcher.
Yeah. Yes, sure. I try not to say that so much, but
a baby launcher.
Yeah, but you know how like you have to play when you play Ubisoft games, it launches like their Uplay really quick. It might be like that.
I mean, I use the Uplay launcher for those.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean maybe, but just the fact that I don't have to explicitly have another
launcher,
like launcher or something.
No, I get you.
Yeah, that does get annoying. I think I have like 4 on my computer right now.
Yeah.
Takes up a lot of space, but
what? Is that all we got? Is that all we've been up to? Any cool shit or new? If not, just gonna jump into the topic because I got none. I'll tell you.
Steam sale is live today.
Wait, what? There is?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
The Autumn Festival sale is live today.
Oh shit!
But
yeah,
I mean, speaking from personal experience, I don't think I've gotten anything from the Steam sales in a long time. Like, I may have gotten. I don't think it was even like a Steam sale. It was just it happened to be on sale. Is when I got Harrison Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds. I always forget which one.
Same.
But yeah, like I feel like it kind of went the same way as Humble Bundle for me, where like the sales just don't matter to me anymore. None of the games, at least for me, they're just never that interesting. Or like they're never worth me getting. So
yeah.
I don't know if you guys are gonna take a look, but I'm probably not even gonna look, honestly.
I'll still look.
I also have a bunch of games I'm already playing, so it's not like I need a game.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like the Steam sales kind of been whatever for me lately.
Do you think that's because because I'm assuming we've all had our accounts for so long that over the years we've just bought everything that we, because I think for someone new coming to PC, at least for me back then, it was like, wow, when the Steam sale would happen, it's like, wow, there's so many games I didn't have.
I don't even have that many games.
Oh, well, that's
like, I mean,
problem.
I do have a lot, I would say, although because I have 140.
That's a lot.
A lot of them are just like I'm like I have I hit the game, so I can't even see what it's called. Hang on one sec. How do you even see hidden games? There we go. Yeah, I have Company of Heroes, and Company of Heroes for whatever reason has 5 different versions of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, okay, well that's 135. And then I have Skyrim, then I have Skyrim Special Edition, which is free. Yeah, like I have a lot of games, but they're not even a lot of the popular ones. They're just really anime games that my brother would give me for my birthday and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just like lately I've just not been interested. I don't know how you guys feel.
I always check it out.
I profited a lot from a lot of the publisher sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, they'll have, like, individual publisher sales. Well, they'll have, like, a series of their games on sale or something like that. And I've gotten some good stuff off that.
Yeah. I think my other thing is with Steam sales, it's way different from how it used to be. Because it used to be games were a lot cheaper than publishers would typically allow. And then they switched over to, like, publisher controlled or, like, developer controlled.
And they always have, like, there's always, like, a shtick or a quirky little thing they add to their Steam sales. Or it's like it's a game you can do where like you accrue these points for something.
Yeah.
Right. I don't ever participate in those though.
Same, never do.
Those have been super those have been
I've always just
pretty
been
poorly
confused.
done in the past.
Yeah.
Because there's a YouTuber I watch called Cynical, is it not
Cynical Brit?
No, that's Total Biscuit. Sorry. Spiffing Brit. A different Brit, but this one's Spiffing. Where he like exploits stuff, and he actually got into some trouble because he exploited their system to basically get like a bunch of free stuff. And apparently the past 2 things that they've done like that have been like exploitable.
Yep. Yeah.
It's been pretty gnarly. It's really funny to see though.
It's like getting a free copy of Cyberpunk somehow. I know that was like the big thing last time.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Dang.
it was hilarious. Or people would try, like, I think it's something about your wish list. So then some people like put it under wish. I don't know. There's some weird thing with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like you were playing the system into specifically giving you exactly what you want when it's supposed to be random or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
It's very funny.
Yeah. I'll check it out. But
did you see the Beyond Light reveals today, Harrison, or no?
Oh, yes, I did. I just don't bring it up with you guys anymore because you guys don't play Destiny. But
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious if you saw.
Holy shit, that's fucking dope. I'm like,
they looked cool.
It's really just like there's nothing to do in Destiny, and you can tell that the entire community is just like, all right, I'll just wait till the expansion, which same. So, but all that new stuff, I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like whatever they're like, all the new exotics they announced or just showed, I'm like, this is great. Like, I fucking love this. Can't wait. Missed that game, but there's nothing to do. I'll keep saying that.
Could grind for modules,
And
or
nah,
something.
I don't need to
or roles.
I don't. I got all. I think that's the other thing is like getting roles in Destiny is like I've already gotten it. I guess that's the other thing is I already got like the sets I would need for like PvP or PvP. I say PvE, but I barely do PvE. I've learned with a lot of the events. They're like, oh, you got to do strikes. I'm like, oh, I'm so behind. I got to catch up because all I do is play PvP. I've realized, but
heck yeah.
Anyway, anything else?
Anyway, let's just jump into the main topic.
Jump into it. So
let's go.
So I know we've touched on this. So I know in the previous episode we've done anime specifically, and I think it was with the intent. I remember doing it was what was our favorite anime, and then I was going to do what would we recommend to someone, but then that became way more dense than expected. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let's just. I think I said in the episode, but I was like, let's just save it for like an actual episode. So this time around, we're actually just gonna do like it's gonna be kind of freeform in that because I know when, as per the last episode, how we recommend a show to someone is different based on like whatever criteria and all that. So I figured we just touch on that again, and because I've been watching a lot more anime, so I was in anime mood, you know, cough cough.
What have you been watching lately?
So I've finished. I think I mentioned this last time. Finished up Shokugeki. I've been. We're watching Fire Force now. Me and my girlfriend, just because there's like nothing a lot like this season. There's not a whole lot besides Haikyuu and I think there's one other show, but there's not much that we were like super interested in or willing to try. So we figured just go back and finish up some other stuff. But yeah, I think because we finished up God of High School, finished up like Shokugeki. Right now it's just really just Haikyuu, and I kind of rewatching parts of Naruto just because I think one of our other friends she's watching it too, or she finished it, and I was like, you know what, I'll rewatch it. Fuck it, why not? Because I never fully watched it. I only knew like the big major points, but not like the whole thing. Because I remember I told Ian that a while back. He's like, what the fuck? But
I was like, what?
Yeah.
For what?
For Naruto. How like I was rewatching it.
Yes.
I can tell you care about me a lot. It's okay.
Yes. 100%.
But what else? Yeah, I can't. I know for sure Fire Force right now is what we're working on, just because it's been super interesting. But wait, Ian, have you started watching Haikyuu?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna wait for a little bit.
Okay, yeah, because it just dropped last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Super excited about that.
Did you finish last season? I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I ask you because you're the whole reason why I started watching it in the first place. So I'm like,
yeah.
bro.
It's definitely that. I mean, that's definitely one of my recommendations.
Yeah. Have you guys watched anything
For
recently, or just not really?
Not really. The only thing I've been watching is the God of High School. That's about it.
Yeah,
in terms of anime, at least.
Finished, right?
Yeah, that
Wasn't
finished.
the last episode soon?
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of Kakegurui on Netflix,
Oh yeah,
and it was hilarious.
that's the gambling girl one, right? Is that the one?
Yeah, it's like the high stakes gambling high school anime.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like it's over the top and ridiculous, and I thought it was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
I might watch the rest. I haven't really decided yet. It was mainly I wanted something to watch, and so did my girlfriend. And so she humored me like, yeah, we'll watch the first episode. And we watched like 15 minutes of the live action Kakegurui, which was god awful. And then we're saying, all right, we're done. We don't need to watch anymore.
What? There's already a live action for that?
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
I say already.
Like, you know how, like, this was a thing when I was in college where I'd have a group of friends, we'd all hang out, and then on like a weekend, like, oh, we're going to just find a really, really bad movie, and we'll just watch that, hang out, whatever. I think the new thing, just find a live action anime on Netflix and then just do that. Because it is, I guarantee you, infinitely worse. Maybe only because we know the source material, but like watching a live action Mob Psycho, there's a live action JoJo,
live action Death Note.
There's like 3 different live action Death Notes, which I think is amazing.
That's true. Yeah.
God damn it.
It's so painful. I think there's a live action Food Wars.
Oh.
And
I haven't heard about that.
It's
That's
just a
hilarious.
mess. They're all just bad, and they make me happy because I like watching train wrecks.
I agree. The live action stuff's really funny to watch. I saw I didn't see the one with the I think it was the first one done, the first Death Note live action. And the the like demons,
Shinigami.
Yeah, the Shinigamis, they
look amazing.
It's so great.
It's
just amazing how
that's like the legitimate Japanese live action, not the one with William Dafoe, right?
Right. Yeah. It was like watching a like a movie on Sci-Fi or something, the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, those
like
are amazing.
Years ago. Yeah, it was so great. Oh man.
Oh, it was Danmachi that's coming out. That's what it was. God damn it.
Oh.
That's
Which one is that?
Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, it's pretty good. It's not that bad. I remember.
I think it's pretty.
Yeah, I know. I know you do. What else?
It's funny, like, so I'm looking.
ReZero too.
Most of my anime news I get because I'm subscribed to the anime subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
They have their seasonal ranking of anime,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm just looking. It's the top. Looks like top 15, and going down the list, out of the 15, there's like 3 I'm interested in. The others, I'm just like, why would I ever want to watch these? But that's because I think amongst our group of friends, I tend to have the most differing tastes. Because the number 1 is ReZero, which I've heard, I don't think anyone besides me in our group has been like, yeah, I don't like it. everyone I know likes RE0,
you're-
ReZero, however you want to say it.
I've never watched.
you're like in the minority, yeah. I'm trying to get my
there's
me and my girl. I'm trying to get my girlfriend to watch that too, just because I wanted to watch season 2, and I haven't fully finished season 1.
my teen romantic comedy Snafu, which I don't think any of us have watched.
It's on my list. I
But-
don't think it was me. I think my brother added it because he was curious.
Yeah, there's number 3's God of High
Mhm.
School, which I just didn't care to watch. 4, Misfit of Demon King Academy. 5 is Sword Art Online. There's Decadence, Rent a Girlfriend, Fire Force Season 2, Fruits Basket Season 2, Certain Scientific Railgun, Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, Millionaire Detective, Great Pretender, Black Clover, and then Appare Ranmen.
Which are the 3 you care about?
So I care about it because I've seen the other, like I've seen a certain scientific railgun and I've seen a certain magical railgun.
Uh-huh.
I thought they were really cool, so I'm interested in that
Okay.
one. I'd say I'm interested. I don't really plan on watching it, maybe, but The Great
Yeah,
Pretender,
it's on my list
I
too.
think, has a really cool art
Mhm.
style. It reminds me because there's I'm blanking on the name. There's a new anime coming out about witches and dragons, and I know it has witches in the title.
Burn the Witch.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Burn the
it's a
Witch.
Bleach spinoff.
It's like that art style, and then even like God of High School. You're seeing, at least to me, I'm seeing this trend of like there's a certain style of anime that's becoming really popular, and it's throwing me off.
I'm trying to remember what.
They all have this weird. It's almost like a Madhouse animation style that I'm seeing just a lot
Mhm.
of.
Mm.
But that's the only reason I'm
I-
interested in Great Pretender. I don't know anything about it. It has that look of like, okay, this looks different. I'm interested.
I heard that one was pretty good, so I
I-
added it on Netflix because I think that one's a Netflix one.
Yeah, it's Netflix. What were you gonna say, Ian?
I had no idea that they had another Ghost in the Shell was
What?
released. It's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea that
Hmm.
happened. I really liked the Ghost in the Shell movie, the really old
Mhm.
one.
Oh, like
The
the
original?
original movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like because this one it looks the Netflix one.
yeah, it's different.
It's like they're going for like a 3D look,
Yeah,
which honestly doesn't look that bad. I can like it looks like video game
mhm.
style, so I could probably get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Shouldn't
like I really like Ghost in the Shell and Akira are like kind of like staples of anime sci-fi.
Mhm.
All right.
Oh,
Would you watch it, Ian,
100%.
or are you just like pointing it out?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that was a thing. So yeah, I might check that out.
Fuck yeah.
I might see how that is.
But
Because I the original movie, and then I watched the when it was on Toonami way
Yeah,
back in the day
the
too.
standalone complex.
Yeah, and that was interesting too. At least back in the day, it was. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
hell yeah.
Uh,
But I guess really quick, how did you? Because I know I kind of just told you guys, hey, top recommendations, and I said kind of
Uh-huh.
depends on how you want to break it down.
mhm.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So wait, how did you guys kind of organize that?
I didn't really break it down into anything. I just kind of like made a like category of here's a bunch of different things that are all good.
Okay.
Or that I think are all good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I basically go by what Ian does. I like trying to shunt them into genres like, oh, if they like action, here's an action one. If they like mech, here's mech. If they like mystery, here's a mystery one. But
Okay.
because I feel like
What'd you
they're yeah.
I
Would you?
kind of did more like Ian, where it's just I have a list. Like I kind of have like my top ones that I've watched, and I still think that they're like my top ones, kind of. So,
Mm.
but I also kind of have like, oh, actually, it's more like if someone's new, I'd recommend these, and then if they actually have like, or if like they just never watch anime, it's like, oh, here's the two or a couple I recommend. And then like, oh, what kind are you looking for? So actually, more like Luke, like genre-wise, like action, sports,
Okay.
all that sci-fi.
Cool.
But
Okay.
Yeah, like for me,
why don't you do by genre? Okay.
sure.
Luke, you start.
Go-
You got
okay.
this.
I mean, let's see. Like even if I think someone is just new to
Mhm.
anime, I think a good example to give them is Attack on Titan. Mainly because I think after having read, like I'm caught up on the manga
Oh,
for
yeah.
Attack on Titan, and then the last season comes out relatively soon, if I remember
Right. I think
correctly.
next year.
But
next year.
like, God, Attack on Titan is so good, and it's such a better introduction to anime than something like Sword
Oh,
Art.
God. Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, like I can't stand Sword Art,
Mm.
and anime I think is best when it just gives you a whole new world that is kind of just separate from one of the big reasons I hate isekai as a genre is that they're all relatively
Mhm.
generic in that someone just appears in fantasy world and they're the best and that's how it happens. Whereas like a lot of the anime I like, there's just like completely separate world. It's just totally not related at all. It lets you immerse yourself better that way. And Attack on Titan has that world and has really good action, has really good animation. The music is great. And there's so many like the end of like season 3 and beyond was such like a huge swing in plot to me. And I don't want to talk about it because you guys haven't read it. But it is amazing. Just like I wouldn't have expected how ridiculous the plot gets in a good way. So Attack on Titan to me I think is one probably my best like introductory anime, or also just like if you like action, just watch
Mhm.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah, actually, let's do that. What's
That's
I was gonna say,
definitely on my
what
list.
anime would you recommend to a new person, Ian? Like off the bat.
For what I want to watch, sorry.
Yeah.
For a new person? Okay. Ooh. All right. So, man.
Or do you want me to answer this real quick? Because I have my answer already.
Oh
Alright.
yeah, if you already got your answer, go for it.
I actually
would
have.
you-
It's actually kind of the same reasons along Luke's in that this is like the go-to one for me every time, and I know maybe for some people it's like, oh, it's just kind of overdone, but I'd say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But also mainly because I think Isekai, the issue is it's same thing as Luke, but essentially it's kind of geared towards that audience, if you get what I mean. Like it's like, oh, people that like want to be dropped into a fantasy world for some odd fucking reason. I'm like, that's cool. But I think that it's with Full Metal, it's good because it's its own thing. It's like, oh, there's no huge ties, but it's also not crazy. There's like it's still kind of real world ish, but like it still has like the fantasy element, but it's still different, right? It's not too outlandish. It's not too out there in how you can like understand how the world works, but it's still different, right? But also, I think the important thing is the scary part for some people is when you would recommend like a good, like there's some really good animes, but they're super long form. So I keep thinking Full Metal is long, but in comparison to a lot of other anime, it's not that long. So I think it's more digestible for someone that's just getting, because a lot of people when they still watch like for instance they watch live action, and to them the entire season is like what I'm trying to like 24 episodes or so.
Yeah, like I feel like in a lot of live action seasons, the episodes tend to be a lot longer. Maybe that's just me misremembering. Kind of like maybe in like older sitcoms, because I don't really know. I didn't watch a lot of sitcoms, I guess, but like I guess The Office or Parks and Rec maybe are more traditional like 24 episode, but
yeah,
especially with like even Brotherhood isn't that bad because it's technically like what 3 or 4 seasons. It's just they're really only like here are the 64 episodes and that's it. There isn't really a break in it.
Yeah. So, and I guess like when I because I remember telling someone that they're like, "Oh, that's cool." Because I remember I tried to give them another recommendation. They're like, "Wait, how many episodes is that?" I was like, here, try this one instead." And they're like, "Oh, okay, that's doable." But then now, and this is what my other friend too. Like she was getting into anime, and we gave her that, and she's like, "Oh." At first she's like, "That's long," but then like watching, she's like, "Oh, that's not that bad." And now she's like watching all this other stuff just because it's like, and these other animes are like over 100 episodes, and but she's like going through it no problem. But yeah, I mean, so going back, Full Metal Brotherhood would be like my automatic go-to for someone that's new. And because I guess it kind of encompasses like, yeah, action, but I think other stuff too. I think it's also my way of trying to get, because a lot of times people see anime, they're like, "Oh, that's just a cartoon." And I'm like, all right, let's try to get you out of that mindset, because there, at least nowadays, it's a lot better. Because like, for instance, like some people could see like cartoons like Rick and Morty or like BoJack, and they're like, "Oh, this is not like the typical," right? Like in most times, people are like, "Oh, just Saturday morning cartoons," but now there's more stuff than that, right? So maybe back then it would be different, but it's still my go-to for anime, at least, just to help break that mold.
Cool. Yeah, I think both of those are really good choices. For me, I would probably have to recommend Baccano.
Wait, really?
English dub?
Yeah.
Because I remember you said that before. Was that the one that you said for Baccano? Was that you?
Maybe. I either or. I mean, I think the English dub's really good. Like, I think that's a well done English dub, one of the few well done English dubs that there are. But yeah, I would say Baccano. I think because it's for somebody who's new, who maybe is like super unfamiliar with the territory of anime and the kind of like tropes and stuff and themes that you see in it. I think Baccano is the closest thing to like a normal. I don't want to say normal, to a
Western, like Western.
Yeah, exactly, to like a Western style like story. So it's like the most familiar for someone new, but it still has that like element of magic that they like weave into it. And it still has like anime character tropes and archetypes that you'll see in other places. So it's like a nice like I don't know, like a put your feet in the water kind of thing.
Huh. Because like my immediate gut reaction is like, I completely disagree.
Really?
But, like, I really love Baccano, and I think it's really good. I think, like, if I was someone new, first getting into anime and I was watching Baccano, I think partly because it's inspired and it's, like, set in, like, Western, like, basically America, I feel like Japanese anime doesn't capture American culture very well, and that might be like a like disconnect for me. Specifically, like having not seen any anime before, like, well, why are they portraying us like that? Like portraying, not betraying. Why are they portraying us like that? And maybe it's been a little while since I've seen Baccano, but I feel like there's certain like tropes that they do that make sense because like we've seen a lot of anime, but if you've never seen anime and you watch them make a joke about America in a certain way, you might get really confused. Maybe I'm wrong. No, they don't do anything like that.
I could see. Yeah, I could. Yeah.
No, I. It's also been a long time for me, so I don't remember a lot either, or like specifics of that. But I could definitely see your point. Yeah. It's also like maybe if you're wanting to show someone new to anime, and this is like and give them something that's like, this is a good representation of the thing as a whole, Baccano probably wouldn't be the answer for that. Yeah, because it is like a step away from what the majority of anime is. I would think.
Yeah, I would agree on that point.
No, you're wrong. Your choice is shit.
Not saying like I still love Baccano, but I was definitely like, interesting answer, interesting.
No, yeah, I totally get it.
Oh,
I don't think I would change. Sorry, I'm thinking. Slow
no, I thought
brain.
you cut out
Yeah.
a second. I was like, oh shit, it's happening again.
Yeah, right. It's not again. No. I think I would still hold to it though. But that's just me. I think if the only other, I don't know if I'd recommend that to someone new though. Maybe yeah. Yeah.
For what?
I would probably recommend the only other thing that I had in mind for this was Samurai Champloo.
Oh,
Okay.
That's the other one I'd probably recommend.
man, I can see it, but I don't remember anything about it all of a sudden. But I can see like the post-it, for instance, or something like that. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Would one of your main selling points be that Samuel L. Jackson is featured in that? Or are you just like, this is just an amazing one? Like, regardless of the cast, just like, it's a super stylistic, really cool, like, anime.
Yeah, no, more of the second one.
Okay.
Even though the first point is very true. It's very No, yeah. I think it just it's a really good in terms of like showing off like really cool things about anime. Yeah, I think it does a really good job of that. Maybe I'm just bad at recommending new people though, but
that's
yeah,
your two.
those would be my two.
I think you're definitely just picking like cool ones though. Like I liked both the ones you recommended.
Mm-hmm.
No worries.
Get them in on the cool stuff.
Shit. Okay. Actually, because I like Luke's list organization. How many genres did you go for, Luke? I'm just curious. Cool.
Yes.
Action.
Oh god.
Action.
Action? I mean, I would still recommend you could do Attack on Titan again. If they're wanting, like, I think action more in the sense of a shonen. It's difficult because like I don't really like shonen that much.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's kind of hard for me as an action because like I think the two safest ones would be, or at least the ones most people would, I think, universally agree on, is Hunter x Hunter or My Hero.
Yeah.
For a shonen, I would probably say My Hero, but I would just instead say like, hey, just read Worm. It's better in every way.
Oh my god.
But if they're gonna watch something like, yeah, watch My Hero, it's just shonens are always hard to recommend for people who are like around our age because sometimes it's hard to empathize with like a younger character, especially if they're a moron. So
well, I mean, yeah, shonens are like
that's the whole point. I was gonna say it's like the
younger
whole point.
male audience.
Yeah.
Oh, and also just to like kind of break away from it, it doesn't have to be like a new person. The last one was just like, this is for a brand new person. This is just like what we recommend, right?
Yeah.
Period. I think it's like what you recommend, like regardless of like will they like it or not.
Yeah.
Because that's up to them, not my problem.
I guess, I mean, yeah, like there's so many good action ones at that point because like,
yeah, that's like the bigger one too. I feel like we just went into the big one. Oops.
Yeah, because I mean, you could do Demon Slayer. I think a lot of people would really like
Demon Slayer.
Halfway
through the manga.
What's another good action?
Would you say? Yeah, I agree with Luke.
What would you guys? I've given 3.
Yeah,
you guys give me some.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is a good one. You took Demon Slayer from me. I was gonna say that. Would I say? Damn it! Would you say the big 3 at one point? You would never recommend that?
I would never recommend those ever.
See,
no,
I would. Yeah,
I might to a younger person who's like, because that's kind of where I got into it from.
Because I know like some people, like I think a couple of my friends, like And it's just maybe it's just our age. And that might just be our age, and that like most of us got into the big three.
Like the big three for me is like we had to go through this. We got tortured by this. I will not put the next generation through this garbage.
Luke's in the minority.
I would say My Hero's kind of like the
I would
new
put that
big
in the
three,
big
right?
also.
Or at least a part of that new. It's like because the big three were Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, and they're all shonen. So My Hero's a shonen. It's kind of like the new.
Yeah, I think it is. Especially, I don't know how long it's gonna take for him to finish My Hero. Anyway, I'm wondering if he actually tries to do what he intended to do, the author, and finish it, or if it just turns into a Bleach where like, oh yeah, My Hero season 12 is coming. You gonna watch it? Like, no, I stopped watching 7 seasons ago.
Man, you say Bleach.
Because
I'm
it's
thinking
garbage.
One Piece for that shit. Because that shit's still going.
You said Bleach.
Wait, what?
No, I was comparing it to Bleach. Instead of One
I didn't
Piece.
hear that. I'm sorry.
But
Yeah,
no, I just,
One Piece definitely.
especially like
it's a lot longer. But
they're like the big three. They're such a terrible example of filler.
So here's the thing. I wouldn't recommend them
like,
to go through the entire thing either. I'd say, hey, here's a filler list. Let you just avoid all these episodes, and it'll hit the main point.
Oh, see, I think that's another level of recommendation. Where if it's just like, hey, just watch this, and like, yeah, okay. Whereas like, we should watch this, but with caveats, and like, so it's different for me. Most of the stuff I watch has no caveats, or they don't necessarily need a caveat. Like if I was gonna, like one of our friends, Garrett, he just doesn't do anime. He basically only goes by what we tell him to watch. Like we just tell him, just watch this. He's like, yep, okay. Like I'm not gonna sit down with him and like, okay, watch this, but make sure you watch this in this order, and here's the list.
There's no order. So
because that's just too much effort.
List,
though, like, just don't watch it.
I got one.
I was just gonna say there's a list
sorry,
that
go
like
ahead.
for
I was
instance,
interrupting you.
I always send it to a few of our friends that are like, hey, I didn't finish this. How did I watch this? I'm like, here's the website. They cut out everything. Here's all the main stuff, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's too much work for me.
Okay, so they could do it.
Like I'm trying to make this as like pain free as possible.
But what if it's like
watch this?
I guess it's for me. If it's good to me, I'll be like, hey, I sat through shit for you. You can just watch like the good parts. That's how I think of it, at least.
Would you consider the big three good?
I think
because
it's
don't.
And this is I hear this because I don't think you like shonen. I like shonen because I like stupid action. So I think for me, it's like I can at least recommend Bleach up to a point, which is the anime, so that's fine. And then Naruto. I think Naruto's fine. Minus all the filler.
I think they have a lot of really good elements, and they aren't always executed well.
But if someone has time, I'd recommend.
Like in Naruto, I really like the like rival like brotherhood story, like that kind of like sub story that they have. That's really that's pretty cool. But I was gonna say action and a new person, because if they're like a new person coming to anime, but if you really like superhero stuff, One Punch. One Punch Man would be really
I kind of disagree with a new person.
For
because I guess I only say that because for One Punch, I think you need to appreciate.
See,
there's more things that you would probably appreciate more once you get the things that they're making fun of too. I think that's what it is.
I would agree because our editor watched One Punch, and a lot of the entire satire of One Punch I think was lost on him. Because he didn't know enough about shonen anime to like understand they're parodying it.
Okay. All right, then I'll keep it to action then.
Like cuz like if you don't understand the point or the satire, you're going to be like our editor who he asked me like, so does Saitama just punch stuff and that's it? And like, yeah, that's the point. He's like, I don't get it. I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. No,
And,
that's a
like
good
it's
point.
telling that like because he watched My Hero after, and he
Mhm.
loved My Hero, and I think it's because it's not a parody of anything. It's just
Yeah.
this is a shonen superhero anime.
Right.
I think One Punch
Yeah,
has
agreed.
really good action. I will agree, but not for a new person would be unless they just want to watch cool animation.
Yeah.
They're just not going to get the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get you. That's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe you are bad at recommendations, Leon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, that's my only
Maybe.
like. I'm not saying that I would never recommend One Punch. I'm just saying like, this is when I level it
No,
out
yeah,
to.
I hear you.
Hey, this is a person that's been watching anime. Here's something you should watch. Type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
What about for comedy? This is the one I'm interested in. If you guys
Uh,
have comedy recommendation,
Man,
Gintama.
okay.
Wait. Gintama or
I was gonna say Nichijou. But
Nichijou.
that falls into more slice of life for me, which I guess
What?
because to me that's just more like, yeah, it's comedy slice of life.
What kind of slice of
know,
life are
dude.
you watching?
I guess I put more. It's like to me, it's like it's like a normal. I guess I don't even know how to describe that. It's like comedy. It's like a mix for me, and that's just the weird part for me. Yes, but that's also
Really?
because that's the extent of slice of life
Interesting.
I'll ever watch, probably.
For me, it's like, I feel like they
Yeah,
were
that's what I'm trying
taking
to say.
the
Yep.
slice of life as a setting and then
Yep.
putting it in a comedic sense. They're putting it against like all these chaotic, really bizarre things that are happening to make that
that's what I'm
even
trying
more
to say.
funny.
For me, that's probably the extent because I don't watch slice of life as many people have recommended. Certain, I'm like, oh,
Sure.
cool, it's on my list.
But yeah, I would say that Nichijou,
What was the other one?
I think
There's
is
like
really
Nichijou,
funny.
then there's the boy one.
Just
watched that too.
because. Yeah,
Daily Life of High
I don't
School
remember
Boys?
what that's called, but we call it.
I
What'd you
think
say?
so.
It's Daily Life of High
I
School
think
Boys.
I don't.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They're
I
both
think that was
basically the
hilarious.
same thing. It's really funny.
Because there's this.
I think Nichijou is a little
Mm-hmm.
more absurdist, whereas Life of High
It's-
School Boys I think is more a little more
It's
realistic.
also because it
in
reminds
the
me
type
of
of
us,
like
and I'm
humor.
like, I hate this a lot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like if you're a guy, I think you'll really like Daily Life of High School Boys just because like so many things are relatable. It's just like, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
doing that. I was
That
really
would be my
stupid in
recommendation,
high school.
Actually, more.
It was fun.
I remember.
Yeah, I like. So for comedy, 100%, I will always recommend Nichijou.
Oh, that'd
But
be
if it's
so
someone
weird.
new, I feel like they would
Just the
they would
first
just be
episode.
overwhelmed.
Mm.
Which for me is perfect because I'm a sucker for absurdist humor.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say like if it's a new person,
I'm not.
Are we doing all these for new people?
I'm doing like new and like
Oh, okay.
I'm basically I have two. For a new person, I would do I don't remember the full title, but it's like manga artist Nozaki-kun or something. It's Nozaki-kun. I think it's a really funny. It's like funny because it's very relatable and there's no like ridiculousness to it. It's just the entire premise is just built on misunderstanding, and I think it's really funny. Or doing Devil as a Part-Timer,
yeah.
I think also is funny because that's the more like ridiculous, but it's not. It doesn't ask you to like understand a bunch. It's just like, yeah, Satan works at McDonald's, and that's just what's happening. Get over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so for new people, Nozaki-kun or Devil is a Part-Timer. And then if it's like, hey, I just need a new comedy, like, I've already seen those. It'd be like, you got Nichijou, Pop Team Epic, Plastic Nason, Working, all the, like, just really ridiculous ones. It's basically, there's just a wall. It's like, have you seen these? Have you seen these regular funny ones? You can enter the club with the big boys, and the big boys are Nichijou and all the like just ridiculous. I think anime does best parts comedy.
Trying to think. Maybe I am just a hype beast. Ian, what else you got on your list? Let's change it up.
For what? Anything in particular?
Yeah, pick a different genre.
Pick a different genre.
What do I have here?
I know, actually, I know another one that just because I think it just kind of helps with our friend group, and it just got us because our friend group, I would say us three are like the least into sports, like compared to all the other guys. And I know for one of them, he's like, "Hey, I need a recommendation." I'm like, "Well, what do you want?" He's like, "Yeah, so sports, yeah." So I was like,
Sports.
Oh man, there's so many good.
Because I know for him at least, I always say Haikyuu because that's more realistic.
I think Haikyuu is probably the safest anime to start with anybody who's new. And I say this as an anecdote because my old boss, he played D1 volleyball in college, and he loved Haikyuu because he's like, dude, they have the specific moves that these they did, and he got super technical. It's like, yeah, volleyball, but I think it did a very honest representation of volleyball.
Yeah,
and it's not like other sport anime where no really ridiculous superpowers, and it's not just the teams always steamrolling. I think it plays out very realistically where they're a good team, but they can still lose. And there's a lot of emphasis on team dynamic instead of just the way they play volleyball.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Yeah, Haikyuu I think is the safest sport anime. Plus, it's also very well animated, and the character design is pretty. 100%. I like the character design.
Yeah, I do too. The thing I really like, I think Haikyuu would be my sports one too, because they don't have the there's a trope where it's I'm the greatest sports player ever, or I have this one ability that makes me amazing. They don't have that in Haikyuu. Like Prince of Tennis, who's oh, my dad was a pro, so I'm just a god at tennis.
Yeah.
Or
even Baki.
Huh?
Or I said even Baki, where my dad is the greatest killer in the world, basically.
Yeah.
And I just inherited his genes, and I can work out, but I just have that over me.
Mm-hmm.
There's no history. It's just in Haikyuu, it's this is a team, and
right.
They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's what. Yeah, I like it because it's nobody's a god on their team. They're just all these kids that really like volleyball, and they get good.
I think my other one. Oh, I was gonna say I think
it's
my
also.
other one.
Go ahead.
Because I think that was so I also would recommend Kuroko only because I remember that was one of the only other sports animes that popped off when in college, at least. Every time I talked to someone, and I remember it was just so funny because I remember one dude, he was not into sports at all, but he would watch anime 100%. But then he started watching that, and he was like, "This is really good! Oh my god!" And then one time he's like, "Wait, I went to my friend's party, and they were all watching basketball, and I understood what the fuck was going on." I was like, "Oh shit, what?" No, they actually do though, and
sports
it's hilarious.
Anime will do
I'm
that
wow,
too, man.
It's actually really good. So that's probably my other one, but also that's my other one behind Haikyuu because the exact opposite reason of Haikyuu is because it's over the top. It's oh, we have superpowers.
It's one of those we have superpowers.
Yeah,
and it's one of those they even call them this is the generation of miracles. These are the 7 best basketball players ever. It's just okay, it's I think a little more on the nose.
I think that's just because, and it's always to me is I recommend these two, and it's always one person likes one or the other. Sometimes it's both, but it's always kind of one or the other.
Yeah, I think it's
extremes.
Yeah, I think it covers it covers the net.
Net.
To make a sports pun.
Yeah, because even then, I think it's difficult because some of our friends only know traditional or more college focused sports, and in Japan, that's American football is not a thing. I know there's Ice Shield 21, which is a football one, and that's relatively old.
Uh-huh.
And everything else is more along the lines of like what Japanese people might be more familiar with, like swimming, archery. I mean, like volleyball and basketball are big, but there's more sports than just football.
Oh man, can we? Oh, dude, I've seen a lot of sports anime. There's some special ones out there too. There's a rugby one that I didn't watch all the way. Like I dropped out at like episode 3 or 4, but it was just hilarious at the amount of you want to talk about like fan service in anime. The guy fan or the fan service for, I guess, geared towards I guess it's geared towards women. I don't know. Or
if you like looking at dudes.
Yeah, if anyone likes looking at dudes, the service for the rugby anime was hilarious. Like everybody's just ridiculously jacked. They're all adult high schoolers, like a lot of the sports anime do. And then there's a lot of like subtle homoeroticism in it that's just very funny. It's very funny to see.
It's like, because like, mainly I like the studio more.
Yeah.
Kiwani, but they did free, and it's like if you like looking at dudes, there you go. If you like looking at dudes who aren't like built like a monster truck, go watch free, because they actually have human proportions.
Yeah, and then if you like looking at monster trucks, go watch that rugby anime.
Go watch rugby or Baki or
Baki. That's
seasons 1,
hilarious.
2, and 3 of JoJo.
God, the only thing you need to know about Baki, which is hilarious, is he's already like a god at what he does
It's
because
one
of his
those,
genetics.
It's the joke of like, sorry, go ahead.
But then he becomes super ultra god because he has sex.
Oh my god,
it's hilarious.
It's just, like Baki, I think, is the perfect summation of, hello, I am Baki. I am a normal 13-year-old boy, and he's like 215 pounds of muscle, 6'4", with like a 35-inch vertical. He's like, hello, I'm a child.
It's oh my god. There's in that anime. There's a dude. I forgot his name, but his like character is he's a dude from America who basically is a prisoner at a prison, but because he's so terrifying, he runs the prison. So they treat him like he's got his own suite. Like they treat him like a guest, and he can do whatever he wants to do. He just has to live in that prison.
It's so ridiculous.
And the amount of like the anatomy, I feel like the artist for this has a really good understanding of anatomy, and then can just put muscles on muscles. And so like this man has biceps on his biceps. It's hilarious. It's great. That's probably a comedy. For me, that's a comedy anime that wasn't meant to be a comedy anime.
I think it could probably fit into anime, or like a comedy.
Yeah. Because the like sex thing that I was talking about, it literally, he like, so, you know, in the story, which is actually kind of sweet, it's like, oh, like, we're gonna, you know, consummate our love or whatever. And after that happens, he's like, wow, I feel weird. I'm like super light and fast and I can do anything. It's like, I see where they're coming from. It's just very funny that then he like, there's like 2 bad guys that he like runs into right after, like the morning after. And then he just like completely wrecks them and runs away. It's the greatest thing.
It's like a hyper parody of like, if you like God of High School was just Tournament Arc the anime, and then you just cover it in cocaine, like you get
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's a good.
Because like the character design is just out of this world. The anatomy is ridiculous. You have Muhammad Ali Jr. It's like, and then like his dad fights this super old man, and it's a really weird fight. And things just happen, like, you just have to accept it.
It's, yeah.
What sci-fi would you guys recommend, actually?
Yeah, but Baki is something I would say. Like, have you watched? Did you like Kuroko no Basket? Did you like Ping Pong the animation? Go watch Baki.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I was trying to segue into
What are you saying, Harrison?
another topic. Or section. Genre. Sci-fi.
Genre. Yeah.
Or
Oh no.
would you, or because I was like
There's a lot of
sci-fi, or you could do like mecha, or I don't know how, because I know you could break that down too. We just want to get into the weeds also for this.
I gotta say, man, I'm not a mecha fan, really.
That's yeah.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I don't like. I've seen mecha anime. I've seen a lot of I've seen different like Gundams, because that's
It's like I
huge.
think
But
mech anime, I think, get a weird connotation because it's people who like, oh, I just want to watch mech, and they watch Gundam. They're like, wait, what's all this political thriller garbage? Or then it's like,
that,
I just want a political thriller. Why are there giant robots fighting each other? Like, there aren't a lot of like, this is a mech, and that's just, it is all about the mechs. There's really like, I mean, Voltron maybe. I didn't even watch Voltron, but every other mech anime I can think of has a lot of political story. That kind of dilutes, like, is this a mech anime or is this about politics?
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot. Yeah. There's Heroic Age has a lot of political stuff in it. A lot of the Mobile Suit Gundams do.
Man, they really do, huh? The more I think about it.
Gurren Lagann has, I wouldn't say it has political.
Yeah.
It's like philosophical.
Yeah.
If you really want to look at it like that.
Mm-hmm. I would put Neon Genesis in that same boat.
Oh,
it's more of like
that's
philosophical.
That's not even a mech anime.
yeah.
That's like, what is the meaning of life?
Yeah.
Do you have a happy relationship with your parents? Like, I just want to watch robots fight.
Oh man. I'm curious about this. Would you guys consider Cowboy Bebop as sci-fi? I think I would.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That would probably be my recommendation for sci-fi. Or that,
like,
or
if you want to get like super nitty gritty, it's like, actually, it's a space opera. It's like, space opera is sci-fi, you moron. So yeah, I consider it sci-fi.
Okay.
I think it's probably the safest newcomer sci-fi because it hits kind of like with Bakano, it hits on like Western ideas of like, okay, this is a space opera. Like, oh, I know space operas. I know what those are. Like, yeah, that's basically what it is. Like, I love Steins Gate, but you can't recommend that to a new person because they'll just get confused.
Yeah.
Like, I have to watch 12 episodes before it's like, no, the 12 episodes are important, but the sci-fi doesn't happen till later. It's like, no, I'm just watching the microwave stuff. Like, yeah, it's science.
I was gonna say I recommend Steins Gate, not because it's like I'm disregarding the new person because at this point I'm like it's just like in sci-fi. I just you could watch this, but yeah, that's the other caveat of you have to watch 12 episodes to get to the good part. But
no, like if they're new, I think it would have to be either Ghost in the Shell or Cowboy Bebop. Partly because like those are so iconic
Cowboy
to
Bebop,
sci-fi and anime
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of this, like, it's the thing where like they watch new sci-fi and they're like, they go back and they watch Cowboy Bebop. Like, Cowboy Bebop did it so bad. Like, Aldnoah Zero did it better. It's like, no. Aldnoah Zero is copying Bebop. It's one of those things where like these two were like the OGs, and like
100%.
you got to respect the OGs. So yeah, I would recommend those two for newcomers, and that's probably about it. There aren't a lot of friendly
going away from
sci-fi
newcomers,
anime
what would
out
you guys
there.
say then? Because I think Psychopaths would be a good one to recommend to some. But I know, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, like if they're like sci-fi thriller,
Yeah.
because I really like Psycho-Pass.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You could do certain magical
Mhm.
index or certain scientific railgun. I mean, I would probably say
Yeah, that'd be the other one.
probably Gurren Lagann. At that point, just sci-fi
It's not.
isn't
No, it's pretty much
very
older stuff,
popular
too.
right now, so it's like a lot of old stuff. And
Yeah.
I feel like in general, a lot of people don't really like watching. I mean,
Mhm.
watching old anime is kind of hard because you have like Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Spaceship Yamato. Yeah, those are like 90s
I'm just looking at
anime.
some of the because
It's
I was
just harder
curious.
to
There's so
watch.
many like with they would have an Ital XX or like some like double letter type shit, and I'm like, man, this does feel 90s as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah,
Redline's kind of sci-fi.
That's a movie though.
That's
I
what.
mean, we could say
Yeah,
that's
That's a
a
movie
movie.
though. Does
That's
that
fair.
count? Because I mean, regardless, just watch Redline. It literally
Yeah.
has everything for you.
I remember.
You want racing? There you go. You want a
and
thriller
I
drama?
remember
There you go.
I
You
was
want a
over at your
kaiju
place one
fight?
time,
There
and
you
you're like,
go.
I was gonna be like, hey, I'll sit down and watch this for a bit, but I gotta head out. And I remember ending up like sitting there watching the entire thing, and I'm like, because at one point you're like, do
Watch
you need
the
to go? I was
whole
like,
thing.
nah, it's
Like,
fine.
oh
It's fine.
It's
yeah, like Redline is amazing. Watch it regardless of what you like. It legitimately has everything. If it has
It
everything,
does.
you can't tell me it doesn't have something because it has everything.
agreed. There. I'm trying to think of like new stuff too, but you're right. Like a lot of because I don't want to recommend just a bunch of like really old stuff.
Like unless you consider like apocalyptic sci-fi, if that's a thing, there's
that's pretty
Dr.
good.
Stone.
I guess I didn't put it with sci-fi, but I guess it could be.
Yeah, it's like it's not really sci-fi because it's post-apocalyptic.
Oh, Akira. I mean, it's old, but Akira for sci-fi.
Yeah, it's another thing.
Yeah. Man.
Because I mean, like the other, you could say there's All Noah Zero or Darling in the Franxx, and I hate both of those, and I don't think they're good.
I don't think they're good.
So I wouldn't recommend those.
You could bring it up and so you could try it, but good luck. Yeah, I can tell you now. 100%.
I'm gonna tell you now, it's not good. Yeah, there's not a lot of good recent like. I mean, kind of like in Western movies, like, what's the last good live action sci-fi movie you remember? I mean, there's Arrival. Oh, there's a lot. Never mind. Shh.
Yeah.
It's like I was thinking. There's Arrival. You've got Annihilation.
District 9.
District 9.
Yeah.
Dune's coming out.
My statement.
Yeah.
I'm an incorrect
All
monk.
right, so sci-fi. Okay, so what about? Okay, this is
Harrison,
the
you
hard
pick a
part.
genre.
This is the hard part.
And
But
you go this time.
When I say fantasy, what do you guys think about in terms of anime? Because this is the issue when you say that into isekai.
This is basically where
And I'm
everything
like,
devolves
I
into
wanted
isekai.
to talk about it, but I'm like, well, then you just start touching this shit, and then it's like, oh, in anime, it's kind of hard because it's like some of the stuff is fantasy as fuck. So it's like you could see like, oh, is it like European like Western fantasy style or like, because yeah,
I think a lot of isekai is like closely tied to like fantasy as a setting.
With that kind of setting, I would. Yeah.
Ooh, just to go back. So I can't recommend this, but I think I'm gonna watch it because I watched like some YouTube video where a guy was like talking about this anime, It's
I
called
have not.
Ergo Proxy.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a sci-fi, and it made me interested in it. He had like a lot of issues with it, but he said despite that, he would still watch it, and so it got me interested.
It has some really cool character design. But
hell yeah!
If
Have you seen it?
If I'm remembering it,
Uh-huh.
the plot was kind of wonky.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah,
'Cause
going back to fantasy.
So just fantasy, just as in like, I think for me, it's just more. This is just another world at this point, but not isekai. A few I would recommend would be like Magi or Maggie. I don't remember how to say it, but have you guys seen that? Or yeah, that one. Yeah, I recommend that.
MAGI?
Recommend that.
Yeah, I've seen it. I liked
really
it.
Good.
I like that too. Yeah.
Just because. Sorry. Yeah, Demon Slayer.
I mean, you have
100%,
Demon
actually,
Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer. Fucking love that. Demon Slayer and what's the other one? I used to recommend Seven Deadly Sins, but I also only watch it, and I watched the most recent season. I think it was Yeah, but
No, I wouldn't bother. Like for me, I think it kind of depends because, like, I think Little Witch Academia is amazing, but if they're like, oh, it's just like it's little girls and like, where's like the action? I'm like, okay, you don't care. Same with like Madoka Magica. If they can't get over the fact that the characters are like young girls and they don't wait to see how good it gets, I wouldn't recommend them. It'd probably be like, okay, watch Fate Zero or something.
I would recommend Zero. I would recommend that actually. But that's probably the extent. And if you want more, have fun.
It's another one of those where if we're staying away from isekai, which I would do because I hate isekai, a lot of fantasy stuff is relatively older. Like, hey, I would say watch Berserk if you're a big boy and can handle it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to watch the older stuff.
Yeah. Garo the Animation, Berserk, I really like.
Garo,
those are like fantasy action fantasies. Or adventure fantasies, I mean.
Yeah, and then you've got, like I said, Madoka Magica, Little Witch Academia. One I really like is how do you pronounce it? Katana Monogatari or Katana Gatari? Huh?
Is it Katamonogatari?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I've been recommended that a few times from a few people.
I think
or like just the Monogatari series.
I not for new people.
Oh no! I was just saying I got recommended that.
No, it's Katana Gatari.
Oh, okay.
Because it reminds me of like a different Demon Slayer. It's like an older Demon Slayer.
I thought you didn't. Okay. Yeah.
No. Nope. But in terms of like, because with Katana Gatari, the same animation style is like kind of there. Like because Katana Gatari is 2010. So it's like almost a 2010 Demon Slayer.
Okay.
But yeah, Katana Gatari, I think, plus, like the animation is pretty cool. I really do like the style.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would be one.
I mean, Attack on Titan, I would recommend.
Doc, there's actually I'm seeing some anime that I've never seen before that I'm like,
super
interested in.
I mean, there's this one anime that they use like Chinese string puppets, and it was like done as a joke, but I'm really wanting to see it.
Okay. Ooh,
Castlevania.
That's a good one.
Ooh,
that's fantasy. Yeah,
I think that'd be if they really want something like familiar. Like, do you like Dracula? Do you like vampires?
That's a good
Go watch Castlevania. It's like I think the only isekai I might recommend
I was gonna
maybe
recommend that too.
is the time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Oh, it's
But
really
I
funny.
never watched
Like,
it. I just like my brother said it
it's
was
just
really
to me-
funny. So, like, as long as the isekai
The
is more
power
about
drive?
being funny,
Yeah,
then,
power
like,
trip. Yeah.
here's my revenge
And
power
like I
trip
said, I feel
boner
like
mode.
isekai,
Like,
it's always
okay,
geared towards an
I don't need to watch
audience.
it.
But I think the only I would recommend Slime. I've been told. Which one was it? Was it the Shield one? I don't remember. There's one that was like, oh, it was actually different. But it's always the issue is all with isekais. Pretty much they're always the same. Like even now at this point, you see some new ones that drop. You're like, wait, this looks exactly like X. Like, yeah, and that's why I always recommend Slime because I think that's just it turns its head on it, and I think it's just really hilarious on how they do certain things, and it's not that power trip. The power trip's there, but it's like it's a parody. Yeah.
It's a parody of a power trip. Where they're literally like, oh wow, I can basically do whatever I want and get whatever abilities I want to get. And then
That's
it
great.
like gets way out of hand and hilarious.
It's not just a way to be like the main characters in a new world. Like, I can
my
play with all
gosh.
my friends' waifu characters they made. Ha 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 ha.
Right.
Are
Hate
there other
that.
genres, or do you
Cannot
guys
stand
just want to
that.
like top it off with? Yeah, we could.
I mean,
So-
we can get super
We can go all
granular.
night, man.
It's like, hey, what's a good slice of life? Or, I mean, for one of our friends, like,
oh my
what's the most, like,
God.
lewd piece of garbage thing you would recommend?
God.
Yeah.
But, like, I think those are the big ones people would probably want to check out.
Oh my.
Because then,
This
like,
is-
oh, do you want a harem? What kind of
Yeah.
harem? It's just like,
Yeah.
how deep do you
Alright,
want to go
so
down
let's
this
just kind of
That's
round it up.
stupid
where I
rabbit
tap out.
hole?
Well, you can just if you have other stuff that you really want to recommend off your list, you could just like outright say like, yeah, I would recommend this. And again, you don't have to like gear towards. You can gear towards a new person or I just say like recommendation you could just watch later.
Ian, did you finish Assassination Classroom? Or am I thinking
I
of
never
someone
started.
else?
I think I
must-
know. I
Oh,
have that
I'm
on
thinking
my
of
list
someone
for
else.
sure.
Sorry. Never
That was
mind.
Nah, you're good.
Something I want to get in. Wait, did you? Was it someone recommended? I don't remember. Yep, that's a good one.
I would recommend Mob
man.
Psycho, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I would recommend.
I'd recommend Erased.
I
That
didn't
didn't
like
really fit into
Erased.
the category. Oh, you didn't?
No, it just, I felt like it kind of just fizzled out.
If you just want food porn, Shokugeki. If you want food, like I said,
watch
if you want
Shokugeki,
food
it's
porn,
garbage. If you want porn, just watch
Come on.
Shokugeki.
be cultured. You know what hentai is.
That's basically what it is.
All right, what's
someone
everybody's
say it, someone
favorite
do it.
hentai?
Dr. Stone. Yeah, Dr. Stone.
Yeah, everything I said, and here's the bottom line. Everything I said is good.
Everything we
Watch
say
it.
is bad. Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh no, you guys can be good too.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
You're just gonna shit all over us. I mean, like, Mob Psycho, we could have talked about. An older superhero thing I really liked was Tiger and Bunny. Toradora is really good. If you want, like, romance drama, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna keep going down my list.
No, I think
Harrison,
I'm
you
just
got
a
any
hype beast,
closing
and I watch
thoughts?
all the shit that's just action. That's just action. I've learned this going down my list. I'm like, oh god, I have a thing.
Mm.
Actually, Tower God
Ain't
was
nothing
not
wrong
bad.
with having a thing.
Yeah, it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. It's not like groundbreaking. Nah, just a hype beast. Ian, what about your list? Got everything? Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah,
get set match.
we're good.
If we need to
Game, set,
actually go
match.
down the fucking list of genres, someone please don't say that. But if you do, I'll be off that day. Ian and Luke can take care of that. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for listening. You
We'll
can tweet
help
us
you out.
any topics or suggestions at SuperBossPod, or even email us at superbossfeedback@gmail.com. You can follow us and give us, or you know what? Because we are on YouTube, subscribe. Hit that like button. Don't forget hit that notification. Anyway,
I'm resigning from the podcast.
Hey, you're the one in charge of it.
Fair.
But yeah, YouTube, Facebook, just please let us know how we're doing, and thanks again for tuning in.
Yeah, we really appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.